Antes de nada, animarte a que si al final del vídeo has aprendido algo, le des a me gusta y recordarte que si no quieres perderte futuros vídeos, puedes suscribirte y darle a la campana para que te avise de nuevos contenidos. Bueno, bienvenidos a la primera entrevista de este nuevo formato de entrevistas que estoy haciendo a emprendedores, sobre todo relacionados con el sector hotelero. Y tenemos al otro lado de la pantalla a Mathieu Pollet. Mathieu no habla español, nos vamos a tener que comunicar en inglés, así que a partir de este momento toda la entrevista va a ser en inglés. Mathieu, I just said that you are my first experiment. You are the first person that I interview related to the hotel sector. And just I was introducing you. How are you, Mathieu?
I'm fine, thank you, Jaime, for inviting me. So sorry for making this interview in English. Fortunately, I don't feel comfortable to do it in Spanish.
Great. Well, the thing is that I want to make this interview related to what you do for the hotel industry. But first, I would like to know a little bit more about what brought you to be an entrepreneur in the hotel industry. I see that in your LinkedIn profile that you started as a project manager in construction and stuff. But before all that, let me go a little bit earlier in your life. I want to know about the Mathieu before his working life. And how was a little bit Mathieu as a child, as a teenager, and what were your dreams? I mean, were you dreaming about building, when you were like 10 years old, about building a cool software for helping hoteliers? Was that your dream?
No, I would like to say that I was dreaming about building a software for the hotel industry 40 years ago, but it's true, and it's funny that you're asking. I have always been dreaming of being an entrepreneur. And when I was a child, when adults were asking me, what do you want to do in life? I was not saying I want to be a doctor or something like that. I said I want to be a CEO. Don't ask me why, because my parents are not entrepreneurs, but I've always been, interested by entrepreneurship, companies, economy, etc. And even today, my parents or grandparents are making fun of me because they are saying, "Yeah, finally you made it." So yes. And then why? So it took me after. So I'm a civil engineer. So I learned to build, roads and bridges and big stuff like that. But I actually never really practiced civil engineering because my very first job was to work in a software company for the construction industry, and I've been working in this software company for actually working in two companies, but for 10 years in this field. And I was actually with this product trying to help construction manager and project manager to work in a more efficient way. And I finally was managing a team that was spread across the world. So some people in the US, across Europe, in India, etc. So I was traveling a lot, really a lot. I think for 5 years, I was, staying in hotels 2 to 3 nights a week. So I discovered hospitality as a guest. And when I thought it was time to start my own company, I was always looking around me what could be a good idea. And as I was spending a lot of my time in hotels, I started to look at how hotels work and identify some potential idea in this industry. And that's how it all started, actually.
Uh-huh. It's I find myself very I identify myself a lot related to your story. I wasn't dreaming on being an entrepreneur, but the first time I saw an entrepreneur, it was Antonio Catalan, the owner of AC Hotels. I
Yeah.
was like, wow, that's cool. I didn't believe in myself. It was the market who pushed me out. They told me,
Yeah.
hey, we don't want you as an employee. So I had to reinvent myself, and then I started hospitality, but my real love was marketing. So I started doing marketing for hospitality. And what you did is like mixing those things: software, where you've been working for 10 years, and hotels, what you've learned about this software. Because LaunchUP, the tool that you are CEO of, it's a tool that works that helps hotels connect to their clients in the pre stay, in the during stay, and in the after stay. Um, the software you use in the construction, in your construction life, was also supplying this need, or was something else?
It was, I mean, the industry is different, even if sometimes we were building hotels. So it happens sometimes that I meet people that I used to know in my previous life, but it's rare. The software I was taking care of in my previous working life was about also connecting all the suppliers of the construction project. So in a way, it was similar. It was also software as a service project, software, sorry. So, I mean, software that works in cloud, as we say now. So it was also very similar, but I'm talking about a software as a service solution 15 or even 20 years ago. So at this time, it was very innovative to provide a software that works on the internet. So this is some similarity. I think also what is similar is the fact that we, at this time in the construction industry today with LoungeUP, we don't want to change or to remove for saying, yeah, there is some people that we're going to replace by a software. I don't believe in that. I believe that because we give a good software to the people in a hotel or previously on a construction site, the team will work in a better way, in a more efficient way, so they will be better at what they do.
Okay.
And with LoungeUP, that's exactly what we do. We don't try, or we don't pretend to, save money by replacing people. We tend to help hoteliers to work better on their daily tasks and build a better relationship with their guests, therefore driving a better business. Yeah.
Okay, great. Tell me about your. I don't know if you have this concept in French or in English. Tell me about your eureka moment. You know what that moment that you said, "Wow, I have to build this."
Yeah, I think there is a few moments I remember, and I would say I would share three with you. One, I was working in my previous company as an employee. I had a management role, but I was an employee. I had a boss and some responsibilities. But I was already working on the project, the LoungeUP project, with my co-founder, and we were trying to meet people to try to understand if there were a business opportunity. and thanks to some personal connection and family connection, I managed to meet. We were in 2010, so 9 years ago from now, and I meet a lady in charge of in a French hotel group, pretty luxury hotel group that doesn't exist anymore, by the way. And I met this lady because my father was a very good and old friend of the CEO of this group, and the lady spent like 2 hours with me, which was not easy because I was working. So when you are working and you take a meeting with someone, it's not at 7 p.m. It's in the middle of the day. So I had to leave my job without telling to my colleagues what I was going to do. And during this meeting, the lady, we had the idea about using iPads for hotel. At this time, iPads was brand new, and the lady said, "Yeah, we are considering doing a concierge service on iPads. We really want to do that, but we don't really know how iPads work. We don't really know how to manage a project." And when I left this meeting, I thought, yeah, there is something here. They want to do something. They have no clue how to do it. We'll do it for them. And that's, I think, this moment where I decided to really jump in this project and leave my comfortable situation and start this project. Right. And then few months later, so we had some PowerPoints, some pieces of product, but almost nothing. I was meeting some hotel managers, and I met an hotel managers who explained me how guest relation works in hotels, and also the role of concierge and receptionist in hotels. And at this time, I thought we could make money on taking commission on all the service hotels can sell to their guests. And we were looking at this business model, and this hotel manager explained me how it works and explained me that it was probably not a good idea. And that sometimes concierge were making money on services they can for guests, and trying to bypass the concierge was probably not a good idea. And we got this point, we understood that, and then we decided to find some other added value for hotels, or that value that would worth a subscription. And then we moved to something different, where we would provide a service on behalf of the hotel, we would provide a service to the guests. Hotels will be in a situation to collect data about the guests, and for this service, they would pay us, instead of trying to take the role of someone else in the hotel. And I think this guy who gave me this advice and explained me how receptionists and concierge were working saved our life, because I saw afterwards many startups trying to do concierge services and just replacing the work of the concierge and the receptionist by software, iPads or whatever, and all those companies disappeared already. Yeah. So I think this second moment was very important. And the last one, we started the company. We had some success, but what I call vanity success. Again, I'm talking now in 2011, 2012. We were working on startups, but it was a new concept. Today, in 2019, there is startups everywhere, and every young boy or girl want to be a startupper. At this time, it was new, being a startup. So, as we were one of them, and one of the first one in the hospitality and travel industry in France, we had a lot of visibility. So my picture and my co-founder picture were on some, newspapers. We got some interviews, So a lot of vanity success, because it doesn't mean that it's not because you have your face or your picture in the newspaper that your business is working. Friends were very and were keeping telling me, "Yeah, Mathieu, fantastic! It's a great success." Blah blah blah. And in my mind, I thought, "Yeah, it's a great success," but the reality is slightly different. Many hoteliers who think our product they sign any contract, and it was very frustrating. And this period lasted 18 to 24 months, where we had some, and again, vanity success, but the business was not here. And we signed a few contracts, of course, at this time, but not enough. And so we were burning some cash, burning our own personal savings, a few investors who trusted us also, and we were getting scared. And finally, I don't exactly know why, but we started to sign a few more deals, and we finally find a big client who trusted us and signed actually a pretty big contract with us. This company, which is still a client, is called Best Western. It's a big chains in Europe and in France, and they trusted us, and we signed a big contract. And this moment is very important because we were in a situation where we were burning money, and we moved to a situation where we were more or less break even, and therefore we got some. I think we find again confidence in what we were doing. We also this also gave us some accountability in the market, because we were the one who signed these big deals, this big deal with Best Western. Best Western was also proud to work with us, and they were talking about the project. Also, Best Western is a group of 300 hotels, so it started to, increase our awareness in the market, and it was really a pivot for the company. I think if now I can say that 5 years later, that if we would not have signed this contract, we would not probably discuss today. We would probably not be there anymore. Well, so this was the 3 big moments for me.
Yeah, people say that people that work have succeed, and say that I don't know if I had luck or not, but I know that luck came when I was working. So the thing is that you've been working a lot. I don't know if that's luck or not, but you were working at the time.
Yeah. The concept of luck in entrepreneurship is a really interesting topic. I was listening to a podcast the other day. The guy was saying, yeah, it's about luck, but it's also about the ability to leverage luck. Just to take it and use it.
For example, when you were talking to that lady that had that chain, that hotel chain, and she said, "Hey, I would like to build something like this." You could have been that kind of person that would say, "Okay, I will build this to you. You pay me, and then I will go on to another project." But you said, "Hey, no, this is a good idea. I'm going to work on it." Yeah. Well, let's get to sorry. Let's get to another question. This is your own project? Do you have any partners, any investors? How's the relationship? I mean, how did it grow? All by yourself, or did you have a
No. So something very important, and that's also an advice that I give to entrepreneurs or wannabe entrepreneurs that I meet very often. I spend quite a lot of time at helping or mentoring people who want to a company. I think that was very important, that I was not alone. And this project is not my project, is a project of Lionel and Mathieu. And we started the company 50-50 in terms of capital. We both have very clearly defined roles. And it is completely, I mean, it is our project to both of us. So that's very important. And as I told you, I used to have some doubt about what we were doing. I'm still, always a bit worried, and I'm always wondering if we are taking the good decision, what is going to happen in the next 5 years. That positive doubt that I always have. But there is one thing where I have no doubt, which is it is my relationship with my co-founder. I'm sure that it will always work. But I'm really careful. It's like personal life. I mean, staying in love with your wife it requires some daily care and some daily discussion, etc. If you don't speak to your wife, don't expect to stay in love with her for 30 years. And with Lionel, it is exactly the same. So I am extremely careful to share everything, to discuss, to just to make sure this relationship will last for long. So we started the company, the two of us. Actually, we decided to create a company, the two of us, but at this time we had no project. We just decided to create the company together. And then during 1 year, we were looking at different opportunities. And because I was staying in hotels very often, we finally looked at it more carefully and decided to go for something that became LoungeUP. And then 1 year later, we needed to have some additional funding, because building a software requires some time, and time is money. So you need to have developers, and before they develop something that is good enough to be sold, you are burning or spending money. So we put a lot of our saving on the table, but we also had some external investors who invested a little bit of money in the company. It was what I call friends and family, also a few professional business angels, so people who are often investing in companies, and one small venture capitalist. But those, and they trusted us very early, and they are all still on board. They are not expecting any return on investment short term. So they don't really pushing us. They are more here to help. They are available anytime. Sometimes I want to discuss. I want to have an advice on certain topic. I know that I can call some of them, anytime. But they are not putting what I would call a bad pressure, saying you should do more revenue quicker, otherwise we will do something, blah, blah, blah. It's not the relation we have.
You should introduce me to these investors, because you don't find this kind of investors nowadays. It's so...
Yeah. You know what? I think we have been lucky.
Yeah.
Again, I was discussing with a friend who is an entrepreneur who got some money from a very big VC fund, and he has an amazing pressure. And in my opinion, I sometimes feel that having too much pressure, especially the pressure on the time, could push you to take bad decisions.
Yeah.
And and maybe I'm getting old now, but I think you as an entrepreneur, you have to make sure you don't take pressure on the time, because you don't control the time. You control your product, you control the quality of your customer service, etc. But if your clients need more time, if the market is not completely ready, and if you have time pressure, then it will not be a good end, because you will be out of cash before the market is ready to buy your product. So I think it's very important as an entrepreneur to organize yourself, meaning your capital, your investors, your personal life, to mitigate the pressure of the time. You know, if you are in trouble with your wife, and your wife is expecting that you buy a big house, and you know that because you are starting a company, you cannot go to the bank and to buy a new house because you are a young entrepreneur, then you are in shit, because your wife will be disappointed, and it means that 50% of your time at home you will have some troubles. So you are in a bad situation, meaning you are taking pressure on time. Same thing if you have some investors that are pushing you to accelerate your business, and your market is not completely ready, you are in a bad situation as well. So that's something very important. Make sure you don't take too much pressure on time. Doesn't mean that you have to be slow. You have to try to do as much as possible in a short period of time, but not too much pressure on that.
Investors need to have confidence in the people that they have invested. So it's important to, okay, you invest in me, yeah, because you believe in me. Now let me do my work, and in the times I think they should be done. And they don't only invest in a tool; they invest in a tool and in the know-how of the team who have built this tool.
Yeah, and again, I mean, at the end, what I'm saying doesn't apply to everyone, you know. But something very important you must understand when you discuss with potential investors, you have to understand what they expect. If they tell you, I expect to sell my share in 5 years and make 3 times to make 3 times the money I invested, they have to make sure it is doable, because they have to do it. They will do it anyway. When you are dealing with, friends and family, they don't really expect a return on investment. If they can make money 10 years later, that's fine, but they don't really expect that. It's more to help. It's more to be. They never took the chance, or they never started to create a company, so they do it through you, maybe a little bit. You're like a proxy entrepreneur for them. When you are dealing with business angel, you also have to be clear with them and really understand what are their expectations. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they invest in companies for tax reason. The money they put in a company. It used to be like that in France. It's not the case anymore. But when they put money in a company, they were saving some taxes. So it's a reason for investing in a company. Or they trust the product, and they trust the team, and they know that a day or later, but maybe not in 3 years, maybe in 10 or 15 years, they will have a good return on investment. Anyway, what is important in my opinion is really to be very clear with your investor on what they expect from you and from their investment. Nice. If they tell you, I want to do a 5-time return on investment in 3 years, fine. If you are 100% sure you can do it, that's fine to deal with them. If you are not 100% sure, don't do it. If you are 80% sure, don't do it, because they will take their money. They will manage to get their money back anyway, and the entrepreneur will be screwed in that case.
Yeah, that's a good advice. Thank you for sharing with us. Because, for example, for me, I've never used any investors in no project I've done, because my projects are very lean. They don't need a lot of investment at the beginning. But so I've always thought about how the world of investing is, and
Ah,
know nothing about. So you make me you clear some of my pre-thoughts.
but I would prefer to be in your situation, you know. You know, I mean, I really admire people who have been able to create a company that works without external financing. It's much better, of course. So yeah,
Well,
but and we also manage to never get too much external investment again to remove this pressure that we this on time that we could not always control.
we've been talking about these handicaps you had at the beginning that if it was not because of that contract, maybe we wouldn't be talking. You talked also about these handicaps with your partner that everything has gone great, but I'm sure you had some typical issues. Also, you talk about the good things of the investors and not not good things. And I would like to know because, for example, every hotelier does know what a PMS is, and most of the hoteliers work with a PMS. Also, they know and they work with a channel manager. Most of them have a booking engine because they know they need to have it. But your tool is something very new. I think you've been working on that for 10 years, but hoteliers haven't found the need of of your kind of tool. And also, there are many tools in the market that they do something that you do, but they do something else, or you do
Mm.
something that they do, but they um, uh, you do something else. So, what are your main handicaps in arriving to hoteliers and telling them why you are going to be affordable and you are going to generate an ROI to them?
Mm.
Don't
First of all, we are not sorry.
don't tell me all because I know that we could be like hours and hours talking about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
The
First of all,
main point.
it's what we do is still new, but we now have a bit more than 2,000 hotels using our product. So it works. It is, proofed by many hotels, and it's not completely new anymore. But still, it's nothing compared to PMS. It's still a very little market. Um, PMS is all about managing the property. Distribution is all about channel managers is all about distributing and generate bookings, which is fundamental, of course. But hotels are, I mean, hospitality is all about services and services to clients.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you are not selling a product, a box, a pen. You are selling an experience that will last some time, and with people who are going to really face and meet the hotel and spend a little bit of their life in the property, and all and the guests, the people who are staying in hotels, they have changed. You know, you, Rene, or myself, or anyone is not behaving every day like we were behaving 10 years ago and 20 or even 30 years ago. We are different. Our expectations are different. We are all using that kind of, telephone. We expect to have all the information anytime. We expect to be able to do stuff by yourself. We now book hotels directly through a website. We used to call a travel agency 20 years ago to book an hotel. So stuff has changed. Behavior of the guests, of the people, of every single individual, including the travelers, have significantly changed. And we thought hoteliers must change the way they behave with their clients.
Uh-huh.
And we noticed 7 or 8 years ago, not 10, we're not that old, that something was missing. And I remember very well, especially an hotel in Frankfurt in Germany, where I was staying very often. We were in 2009. iPhone, don't forget, iPhone has been launched in 2007, the very first iPhone. Previously, we were all using little cell phone, with 12 button on it. And in this hotel, but with my iPhone at this time, I was able to find some information, to book a taxi, to send SMS to my friends or my family, etc. If I wanted to discuss or get information from the hotel, I had to call and to speak a foreign language. I had to go down to the reception and grab some paper document. And we thought there is, at this time already, and I think it's much bigger now, but they were starting to have a gap between what guests are doing on their daily life when they are at home and the way they were interacting with hoteliers when staying in hotels. So we thought this moment of the stay after the booking until the departure of the guest has not been tackled by technology, and we thought that there were an opportunity. So that's what we do now. We LoungeUP. We try to we provide a solution that helps hotelier to interact with their guests in a way that is, aligned with the usual behavior of the guests. So if you have a request, or if I want to send you, the guest, some information, I will not send you a paper letter. I will send you a text message. If you want something from the hotel, you would connect on a website to order some room service, or you would just send a text message to book a taxi. You want, as a guest, you don't want to spend or to queue at the reception when you arrive at the desk. You would prefer to be able to check in a few clicks and directly go in your room, because you don't want to wait, and you don't like to wait. And if you think there is still a lot of friction in hotels.
But
so
what
we try to remove.
The main I know the value of your tool, yeah, but most hoteliers they don't use social networks as much. They don't like technology, so they are not like you and me into the 2.0 things. So what are the main things that they say? I'm not buying your tool because they say because of the money, because they don't because they find it like another software to learn how to use, because they don't have other softwares like a PMS. What are their main problems of buying your tool?
I think it happened extremely rarely that someone or that an hotel manager says, I don't like it, it's not good, I don't want this, I will never use such a software. It almost never happens. Most of the time, they like the concept, they like the idea, they understand, because hotel managers are also using smartphones, they are also texting their friends and family, they also don't like to wait too much. They also, so that's, I mean, they're like us, but they can wait a bit more. They are not in a hurry. First of all, especially in big cities, it's not always the case for smaller property, but in big cities, hotel business are doing very well.
Yeah.
We live in Madrid, I'm in Paris, but it is the same in both cities. I mean, most of the hotels are fully booked all the time. Mm-hmm. It's not the same everywhere, but still the business is going pretty well, and therefore they have no pressure to change the way they work. So it takes a little bit of time, but, and I remember a very good client, we are almost friends now. It's a little group of 5 hotels in Paris. The guy, you know, I think for 18 months, we tried to contact him, to meet him. I think at one stage he said to our sales rep, "Don't call me anymore."
Yeah.
And finally, I don't know why, he said, "Yeah, let's give it a try." And now he's a client for the last 5 years. He's using our products, and all our products, every single module of our product in each of his 5 hotels. And he told me one day, you know, I would not be able to run my hotel without LoungeUP now. So it took time, but finally, once he discovered and he got used to it, and he makes the effort to change a little bit the way you know, the internal processes, etc., he got a reward. And as a result, I mean, clearly he sees, talking about this client, he sees, you know, clients that say, yeah, this way of dealing with us through text message, your guest portal on the Wi-Fi, your pre-stay emails, it's very convenient. So he can hear this at the reception desk sometime, but he also sees some results in terms of upselling, for instance. You know, when you are dealing with a guest and you send some relevant information to the guest at the right time, and you said, by the way, you didn't order a breakfast. Do you want a breakfast? Do you want that we send a driver to pick you up at the airport? Do you want to test our brand new spa? Do you want to book a table at a restaurant tonight? If you send it cleverly at the right time, I mean, it works. Yeah. And guests are just saying, yes, I want a breakfast. So instead of going at the Starbucks in front of the hotel, the guest will just take the breakfast at the hotel. And, you know, it will be 15, 20 euro breakfast, so it's good money. So it simply works at the end. Again, it takes a little bit of time. That's why it's important not to have too much pressure.
That they like it, they know it would be good for you, but sometimes they say, yeah, I know it's cool, but maybe next month, but they finally hire. They finally hire.
And that's fine, you know, that's fine. But the challenge is that they don't forget you. The challenge that you don't have during this period between today and the next month, there is not another competitor that gets in and sign the deal, the contract instead of you. So that's where you have to be careful. But it's fine. If they want more time, it's okay.
So what's the thing? We know LoungeUP. We know there are other companies that they do something similar. But what would be, not listing all the, I'm not telling you to list all the features and stuff, but if you would have to say, this is the difference of LoungeUP, the feature that I'm most proud of, or that helps most my clients, or the value itself. What's the cool stuff about LoungeUP that others don't have, or others don't have as cool as you do?
Yeah, I think the thing is that LoungeUP is not one little feature. It's a solution that manage everything that is related to guest relation management. I think right now, we will discuss maybe in 3 years' time and see if I was right. But I think nowadays there is too many pieces of software, and we see hotels. You know, hotels is not a big company. It's a company of a few millions euro revenue, 20 to 30 staff, and sometimes it is even smaller. And we see hotels using 5, 6, 7 different software: a PMS, a channel manager, reputation management software, etc., etc. And this doesn't make sense because all those systems it's actually, all those providers are actually providing a feature, one functionality, a chat system, an upselling system, a Wi-Fi system. And at the end, you as an hotelier, you have to deal with 5, 6, 7, 10 different contracts, different providers that don't really talk to each other. At the end of the day, it makes also a lot of money because every single provider is trying to, selling the product. So what we have been able to build is a solution that covers everything that is related to guest relation management, from interaction through chat, SMS, email, through a guest portal, a Wi-Fi portal, an upselling software that works extremely well, a guest data management, so a repository of all your data, and this is all in one single solution. So it works well. It is one solution that makes everything, which is also convenient for the hotel. And now let's see, but I'm pretty sure that in 3 to 5 years, we will see, a big solution that does PMS, distribution, revenue management on one side, and on the other side, another big solution like LoungeUP, hopefully, that will do everything that is guest relation management related, marketing related, and it will be 2 big solutions that will be enough to run the hotel. And so we do the second part.
You just answered my next question. That was, what's LoungeUP going to be in 3 to 5 years? And you said it's going to be, well, the solution.
We will provide 50% of the need of the hotel in terms of software. The other 50% are related to the business, property management, and the distribution. We will do all the rest. Could go from hotel operation to reputation to all of that.
Okay.
And to do so, we are investing a lot in the product. We have a team of 10 people developing the next product, but we are also in the process of maybe acquiring some companies to reach this target in 3 to 5 years.
Okay, so we've talked about little Mathieu, grown up Mathieu working for others. Mathieu and building his company. We've talked about your product, so I'm sure this Mathieu that composes all these pieces could have like a lot of advice for future entrepreneurs. And during the whole interview, you gave many advice. But I'm just asking you in this last question for the advice. The best advice, the advice that if you could give only one advice to an entrepreneur, you would give. What would it be?
That's easy for me. I would say organize your personal life in a way that you can commit as much as possible on your professional life. Meaning your personal life has to be, you have to have a nice family, you have to have time for yourself, etc. So the 8 or 10 or 12 hours sometimes the day of hours you will spend in the day in your entrepreneurship project will go smoothly. If when you are back at home you are in trouble, you are struggling with your with your wife, your kids, you don't have money a little bit of money to take care of them, go out on holidays with them, etc. Don't expect your professional life to go properly.
Do you use any method? For example, I use this method called GTD, getting things done. and I use it with a tool that's Kanban Flow. It's pretty much like Asana or Basecamp or whatever. Do you use any technique or just whatever you?
We use that kind of product and methodology for running LoungeUP, but for my personal life, I don't do that at all. I'm just trying to find the right balance.
This is my advice for you. You should read about GTD. It changed my life. It really did.
Okay. Really?
Well, I really love this last advice because you've been, during all the interview, you've compared your business with family, with your partnership with your partner, with family, how to grow your business with family. I see also that in your Twitter profile, you say you are father of 2 girls. So and now you give this last advice, and I'm very into it. I'm really working on that. I think I found that measure of what, for example, I wake up at 5 in the morning and I only work until 2 at the afternoon. So I think we're very.
I think you do it even better than me, because you know when I was 20, I used to do a lot of kayaking. So paddling on the white water, and my dream at that time was to have a van. And it's something you have done. I have not done it yet. So last year we rent a van with my family for 1 or 2 weeks in Italy. The next step will be one day to have one for us and be able to go out more easily.
I really encourage you to that. Yeah.
I will. You will give me some advice offline on that.
Yeah. So last thing, where can I find you? We can find your company LoungeUP in the internet. Just write in LoungeUP in the browser, and there you can find all the social networks. But where can we find you in the social media?
I'm on Twitter, Instagram.
Your name is Mathieu, and your last name?
Mathieu Pollet, and I usually reply to emails, of course, and to requests on those platforms, especially LinkedIn. I don't. When people just request a connection on LinkedIn without explanation, I refuse. So all the people in all my connection in LinkedIn are people that I met or who really introduce themselves, and so it's people I know for some reason. But I'm happy to speak to everyone, even through email simply. And I'm trying to spend some time in Spain a lot. So we will also be able to meet in Spain.
What I do with these people that send me an invitation without saying nothing is just make a copy paste saying, hey, I'm this guy, I will do all this. Now tell me, if you want to be in my network, tell me who you are and why did you send me this request. And if you don't do it in a week, if you don't answer me in a week, you will be erased from my contacts. And they answer, and I build many relationships. Okay, Mathieu, thanks a lot. It's been 53 minutes, almost 54. It's been great. It passed like very, very fast. I would love to be with you talking about entrepreneurship more time, but I think it's time to end this interview, and I hope you could visit us as some other day and tell us your advances in your personal life, in your entrepreneur life, and of course in your company. Thanks a lot, Mathieu.
Thanks. We'll speak soon. Cheers.